Hi, my name is Abby Chadwick, and I will be presenting today on Bennie and the Jets, a giving voice to value case. So to get started, we'll give a little bit of background about Bennie's situation. Bennie works for a jet engine company, so a utility company. And as a public utility, they are subject to certain regulatory agencies. So there are certain regulations that have put a cap on their gross profit. So they're only allowed to earn a net return on operating income of 12.5%. Anything over that, and they are forced to cut the rates that they charge their customers. This unique situation creates an incentive to overinflate expenses and understate revenues from operations. So this is kind of the opposite of what we would normally think, kind of opposite of the normal incentives that a company faces. So Bennie has noticed that rebates that they receive are often not recorded to the corresponding expense accounts, but are recorded below the operating income into non-operating accounts. So this allows the company to stay under the 12.5%, but doesn't appear to be the correct treatment of those expenses. So Bennie has noticed this, but he has said nothing for 2 years, and now he has decided that now is the time to address the matter. So the process I recommend that Bennie takes is to first talk with his superior. Perhaps others in his organization feel uncomfortable with the way these things are being handled, and if Bennie voices it, others will share his concern. If sharing it with his superior does not bring any results or doesn't seem to be taken seriously, he can take it to the next level in the chain of command. So maybe his boss's boss or further up. If that also brings no results, the next step would be to take it outside of maybe the accounting department and take it to the company's chief compliance officer, or some position of that nature that has the interest of compliance and following those regulations as the core part of their job. If that still does not yield any results, then Bennie should consider whistleblowing and taking it to the North Carolina Utilities Commission. So that is kind of the process that Bennie should try. So to help Bennie prepare to take his concerns to his supervisor, we're going to apply the Giving Voice to Values framework to his situation. So the first question we need to answer for this framework is what are the ethical principles that are at stake? So the ethical values involved in this case would be honesty, integrity, perhaps the value of protecting the innocent or protecting the public who are unaware and unable to protect themselves in this case. The second step is to identify counter arguments. So what are possible arguments that others will pose when you voice your values? Some opposing rationalizations could be, you've been fine with it 2 years, what's the problem now? And attack his integrity that way. Other opposing rationalizations could be, the net profit you're trying to decrease pays your salary. Like, why are you doing that? Why would you do that to us? Maybe some of those type of rationalizations. And Bennie needs to be prepared to counter these. And so he needs to be prepared to say, we have a fiduciary duty to the public because we have sort of a monopoly on utilities, and it's not fair that we take advantage of that, or something of that nature. The third question we need to answer for this Giving Voice to Values framework is to identify the levers of influence. So what can Bennie do that will have influence over those who may oppose him? So he can appeal to their conscience and talk about their honesty and integrity and appeal that way, but I think the most powerful lever that he will have over them is the consequences that their actions could bring. By recording their expenses in this way, they are defrauding the government, and that comes with heavy fines and consequences and legal penalties. So that is probably the most influential lever that Bennie can use. So my final advice to Bennie would be to get an attorney, maybe, if talking to his superiors doesn't work and he's about to whistleblow. And as the case asked us to give our advice that we would give if we were Bennie's best friend. And as Bennie's best friend, my advice would be to be true to his values. As Shakespeare said, no legacy is so rich as honesty. So I would encourage Bennie to live in a way that allows him to have his peace of conscience and to do what it takes to prepare to voice his values and his concerns. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this Giving Voice to Values case. Thank you.